buddy, it's 7 a.m. and I've been up and up and up since yesterday at 12 p.m. I just could not sleep at all. Um, and this always happens around day 7. Like, I'm on day 7. And if you look at like the scientific charts and all that, okay, they had a small sample size, but on this day, like your testosterone levels, which have been steadily climbing, basically are at 2 times the average concentration in your body. And boy, let me tell you, I can feel it. Okay, it's hard in more than one way. Okay, but that's too much information. Essentially, this is probably like one of the hardest days. And if you can make it through this one, pretty much every other day, it's just like a mental thing, right? So, another reason I couldn't sleep is just, again, too much energy in my third eye, and I wasn't able to move it down to my lower dantian. And I don't know why that happens because I don't do third eye exercises. I've always had sort of like an overactive third eye, but I don't know. The whole like celibacy thing doesn't make me want to quit, but having too much energy in my head is scary. So, anyway, I'm not a quitter. Let's keep going. Page 4. So, welcome. Today we're going to talk about reflection because that is the title of our page. Moon above water, sit in solitude. When I read that poem, I just get this like imagery in my head of just being like, it's a dark night, there's a lake ahead of me, there's a clear full moon in the sky that's being reflected off of the lake, and everything is just calm and still. What does that mean? If water's a placid, the moon will be mirrored perfectly. Okay? If we still ourselves, we can mirror the divine perfectly. Okay. Mirror. But a mirror isn't a reflection isn't the real thing, I want the real thing. But if we engage solely in the frenetic activities of our daily involvements, if we seek to impose our own schemes on the natural order, and if we allow ourselves to become absorbed in self-centered views, the surface of our waters become turbulent. Yeah, and what that basically describes, day-to-day life, the ups and downs of the normal waking mind, which has never been cultivated, which is what we're trying to do. We're trying to cultivate and control that mind. Not necessarily like to reflect anything, but just to examine its own inherent nature. Okay. Then we cannot be receptive to the Tao. Okay. There's no effort that we can make to still ourselves. Really. There's no effort that we can make to still ourselves. Okay. True stillness comes naturally from moments of solitude where we allow our minds to settle. These two sentences seem to be like contradicting each other. Okay. You have to, in Vajrayana, again, this is what I know, so it's the only perspective I can come at this from, right? in Vajrayana, we talk about creating a container to allow certain phenomena to arise, whether it's to allow concentration to arise most easily, or it's to allow, like, if you're out in a retreat, the container in that case would be whatever practices or whatever rituals or anything you do to help you maintain a certain state of mind. Okay. Now, sure. Actual, like, let's say your goal is to, like, attain samadhi, and I don't mean it like in the burial sense. I mean like just a high level of mental clarity. Okay. Sure. It's not like a button you push and then, oh, suddenly I'm in samadhi. No, it sort of like rises naturally. And so in that way, I agree with the author. But at the same time, you also have to work at it. It's not just, it is sort of like, it is and it isn't an artificial creation. You know, there's an artificial mechanism that exists to elicit spontaneous phenomena. That's how I'd put it. Okay. Just as water seeks its own level, the mind will gravitate toward the holy. Is that true? Now, what do you mean by mind? Okay. Because does does okay, does the mind generally tend towards or seek the divine when it is in solitude? I don't know. I think that's something that you seek, like, either through your own cultivation efforts or for a specific reason. I don't think like the desire for the divine is complete. Well, even if you say it's inherent in all beings, I don't think it's something we naturally gravitate towards. At least the normal waking conscious mind naturally gravitates towards. And when you create the container of solitude, even then, there are a million different directions the mind could go. It's only if you actively seek out the divine will it come to you. That's been my experience. And even when you actively seek out God or the source, there is no guarantee you'll get anywhere. Okay. Muddy water will become clear if allowed to stand undisturbed. And so too will the mind become clear if it is allowed to be still. Yeah. Neither the water nor the moon make any effort to achieve a reflection. Mhm. In the same way, meditation will be natural and immediate. It's a very interesting passage. And people talk about natural meditation, like the natural state of the mind. It should just come about spontaneously and effortlessly, right? But that's a hard thing to do. It's very unnatural for the modern human being to be in that state. It takes a dedication and time and effort to achieve that. That's why so many different practices and meditations, postures, rituals have come up to sort of assist people in that process. But I don't think we really disagree. I guess we're just seeing it at different perspectives. So, Moon above water, sit in solitude. So today I'll reflect on my path and see where that takes me. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great cultivation day.